All right. On Facebook Live this evening. So glad to be on this evening. And I'm going to bring in my dear friend, Pastor Karen. She's going to be my guest on this evening's Facebook Live. As soon as she comes in, I'm going to invite her to be with me on this evening. So I'm just waiting for her to come in. All right. It's a good day. I'm very delighted to be with you on this evening for this Facebook Live. So I'm going to have my special guest, Pastor Karen, to be my co-monitor on this evening. Looking for her to come in any moment. I'm talking to you today on the subject, 5 things they never told me about marriage. 5 things they never told me about marriage. So I'm waiting for Pastor Karen to join me on the program this evening. So I'm waiting for a few moments. She'll be joining me shortly. Hope you had a good day today. And I'm delighted to be able to share things with you that I believe will be a big help to you in your relationship, in your marriage, hoping that everything will flow just the way it's supposed to. And that is with great love and honesty and togetherness. And that's good for you to be with me this evening. And so I hope that you are gaining growth as you live out your lives with that special someone. So, talking about 5 things they never told me about marriage. And you can feel free to share this with someone that you sincerely care about. So, now, she hasn't joined me yet, so I'm going to assume that there's some technical difficulties that are hindering her from being able to join me this evening on this Facebook Live. So hopefully she'll join me shortly. So I want to share with you 5 things they never told me about marriage. And marriage is wonderful, but I want you to understand there's some things that maybe they never told you, or I know they didn't tell me, that I had to find out the hard way. And the first thing is marriage takes time and prayer. Marriage takes time and prayer. And that I want you to know this, that there's some things you need to know that you don't know right now. It takes time. So there's a lot of things you have to learn. And so it's very important. So I'm hoping that you know what. Let me. I want my wife to come in, so I'm trying to get her in on this program if I can. Hopefully she's gonna come in. Oh no, I know Vishan. Okay. Hey, Sister Chaka. I'm waiting for Pastor Karen to join me on this program this evening. I'm trying to get her on the line. So hopefully she'll come on in just a moment. And so that's important. So let me do something real quick. Let me get her in. Let me get her in on this program. Hopefully she's gonna chime in just a moment, because I want to get her on today. So I'm hoping she's going to join me just a moment. So I'm just waiting for just a moment. So y'all bear with me for just a moment. I'm just trying to get her in. And so hopefully she will join me. I haven't seen her come in on the program yet. So let me hopefully get her in. In fact, Sister Chaka, why don't you do me a favor? Why don't you hang up and call Pastor Karen and tell her I'm waiting for her to join me. She's going to have to actually join in on the program by actually coming in as she did the other day, but she didn't come in just yet. So why don't you hang up and then give her a call and tell her how to join this program. I'm going to invite her on once she comes on, once I see her having been being one of the watchers. She's got to watch the program. So why don't you hang up and then call her? Okay? All right, that'll be good. So I'm waiting for Pastor Karen to join us, and so I'm going to bring her in as my invited guest for this evening. Thank you for being patient. Please be patient just a moment. I'm going to get to the good stuff in just a moment. I want my friend, my life partner, to join me on this Facebook live for today. So she'll be coming in a moment. So I just need your patience. So please be patient with me. It's going to be all right. So I hope you've had a good day, and please don't hesitate to share this with somebody else when they come in on this Facebook Live or watch the the recorded version. So I need that. So waiting for her to join me. So bear with me. I was talking about the first thing was it takes time and prayer. So that's where I'm beginning. Marriage takes time and prayer. So I will get her in on just a moment. And I'm trying to get my legs under me real good with regards to this program. So hopefully she's going to come in just a moment and we can get her going. Just takes a moment. All right. So give me a moment. Hopefully we can get this straightened out in just a moment. So come on, Pastor Karen. Come on, Pastor Karen. And join me this evening. I'm a man of faith. I'm believing she's going to come in just a moment. But in the meantime, let me just, yes. I know I can't request her to join until I see her name up on the screen. I can't request that until she joins me on the screen. So let her know that, please. So let her know, please. We went over this yesterday. So I need her to join me on the screen. Then I can push the screen. Once I push that screen, then I can invite her. Okay? So that's very important. See, just like I see you on the screen, I need to see her on the screen. Then I'll push it, and then she can join me on the program after I invite her. I can't invite her until I see her on the screen. Very important. Thank you, Sister Chaka. All right. All right. So I'm going to continue on until I see her on the screen. When I see her on the screen, then I'm going to invite her in on the call. I can't do that until then. Very important. Okay. So the first thing, as I said before, marriage takes time and prayer. And so you got to give yourself time to really get to know and to learn. There's Pastor Karen now. She's watching. All right, now I'm going to invite her. All right. So now I'm going to do that. Okay. All right. I'm trying to get Pastor Karen to join me. Oh my goodness, this is not helping. All right. All right. Oh, okay. I'm trying to get her on. Come on. I'm seeing ad for everybody but Pastor Karen. I'm trying to invite Pastor Karen. Give me just a moment here. Come on, Pastor Karen. I'm trying to get you on here. How come I don't understand this? I'm trying my best. I am not an nincompoop. I know what I'm doing. All right, okay. Now, this is not working for me right now. I'm trying to get you're the only one I can't get in, Pastor Karen. It says add on everybody but you. And so that's not good. That's not good. All right. So we're just going to kind of proceed on. Oh, wait a minute. Let me get you here this way. Let me see. I'm not going to give up. I'm going to continue to go forward. Go forth, and maybe if there's a reason why it's not letting me add you on, Pastor Karen. So let me try this again. Maybe this, okay. Okay, this is not working. All right. Okay. Okay, everybody, I'm sorry. I'm trying my best. I was trying my best to try to get Pastor Karen on. It's just not working right for me this evening. So I'm going to proceed on. Thank you all for taking the time to join me this evening. 5 things they never told me about marriage. And I'm really excited about all the good things that God is doing. Thank you all for joining us. As I said before, one of the first things is they never told me that marriage takes time and prayer. And so it took us about 5 or 6 years before we actually began to really get to know each other and to realize that this is something that requires a lot of time and a lot of prayer. So we had to pray for each other quite a bit during that time where we were trying to really get this thing solid. And so I'm being real honest and upfront with you about it, is that it really does take a sizable amount of time and prayer, really just getting everything in line the way it's supposed to be. And so marriage takes a lot of time to pray, time to talk, time to spend some walks together, time to really enjoy each other's presence and know what it's like to really be in the presence of somebody that really loves you. And I really love my wife, but it took time for us to really get to enjoy each other and to really have a good relationship. It took time. The second thing, and you all can ask questions also, by the way, and Pastor Karen, you can share a little bit as well, is the second thing that they never told me about marriage is you need to listen. You need to listen. And that is, you need to listen to God when the Lord is talking to you about your relationship, and he will talk to you about your relationship. But even more so, you need to listen to each other. You need to listen to each other. Some of the biggest mistakes that I've ever made in my life is when I did not listen to my wife. I'll repeat that again. Some of the biggest mistakes I've ever made in my life is when I did not listen to my wife. That's very important. And I want you to gain some knowledge from that, some wisdom, in that it takes two people working together toward a goal to realize that they're going in the right direction. And so if you get two people going in the right direction together, then in all likelihood, you're going to have some great success. But when you feel like your partner is kind of pulling back just a little bit, I'm not real sure about that, then don't you make a move until you have two people on board that are going in the same direction. And so you need to listen. Say, I don't think you need to do that. I don't think you need to make that turn. You need to be able to listen to your spouse. Are y'all hearing what I'm saying out there? Because the Lord can speak to your spouse and tell them things about you that you may not be willing to hear. And so it's very important that you listen, because you can make a lot of bad choices when you don't listen. Because sometimes God speaks through your spouse to give you warnings. He'll speak through your spouse to let you know that you may not have enough information. He'll speak to your spouse to let you know you might not have enough money to do that deal. Or you may not be in the right place at the right time to see things happen the way you like for things to happen. So you need to make sure that you're listening to God and listening to your spouse. The third thing that I never learned or was never told about marriage is that you have to teach your partner how to love you. That's right. You have to teach your partner how to love you. When you teach your partner how to love you, basically, you're letting your partner know what your wants are. They need to know what you really want and how those wants can be met. Your spouse can teach you or tell you what they need and show you how to meet their needs. You see, one thing that we learned is about our love languages. My love language is quality time and acts of service. That's my love language. That's how I want my wife to love me. Her love language is quality time. No, you know what? I got it wrong. My love language is physical touch and acts of service. Her love language is quality time and words of affirmation. And we learn that over time to teach each other how we ought to be or want to be loved. And so when I spend quality time with my wife, then I can do no wrong because she wants that quality time. And she's telling me, I want you to spend time with me, talking with me, sharing with me, going places with me, going shopping with me, if it takes that, because that's how she feels love. And the more you begin to inquire, what do you need from me? What can I do for you? What can I do to make your life even better? I see you, Pastor Karen. Okay. And so it's important to know what to say and what not to say. See, there's certain words that you can use toward each other that can be insulting and hurtful. That's not how you love them the way they want to be loved. Those words need to be words of kindness, words of tenderness, words of affection. But I didn't know that at first. In fact, I didn't even know that my wife really was very hurt when I didn't want to celebrate Valentine's Day, because I thought it was just a commercial ploy to get money, of course, and I didn't want to spend $60 for a bunch of roses. But eventually I realized that that means a lot to her. So I began to do those things that mean a lot to her. Whether it meant a lot to me or not didn't matter, because I want to make sure that I'm touching her. I want to touch her heart. And that's what you want to do. If you want to teach your spouse how to love you, tell them what moves you. Tell them what touches your heart. Tell him or her what causes you to feel love. Make sure that they know that. And that way they're not just doing for you what they want to do for you. You want your spouse to do for you what you want them to do for you that makes you feel loved. You got to do that. You got to try that. I hope that's making some sense here. Tell me what you want. Tell your spouse what you really want and what you need. Now, if they don't do that, if they're not willing to meet you there, then that means that they need some re-education. They need to take another course on how to love your spouse. Sometimes you need to say, you know what, we're going to take some time. I want to teach you how to love me. That's right. Bring him in, bring her in, say, I want to teach you how to love me. I want to tell you what feels good for me. I want to teach you how to touch me. That's right. You may need to teach your spouse how to touch you and where to touch you. Are y'all hearing what I'm saying? You need to get that. And you want to be able to instruct them. And so you may have to have some basic training and maybe some hands-on training so that he or she knows exactly how to love you and what words you like to hear. Is this making any sense to anybody? So I want you to kind of get that in your spirit. Excuse me for just a moment. Let me try one more thing. Okay. All right. Brother Ken, I see you on the line too. You know, that's pretty good. All right. Good to have you on the line. All right. I can't add Pastor Karen. I know what to do next time. I know exactly what to do next time. So we'll work that in. All right. And so it's good to have some of my good friends that are on this call. And then the last two things. All right. Basically, you need to make sure then that you are fully aware of issues of the past that can affect your marriage. You want to be aware of issues of the past. And sometimes you need to talk about and resolve some of those issues from your past, because those issues from the past can detour you and interrupt you from having a good flow in your relationship. And so there may be family issues, things that you all never resolved with your family that can sometimes affect your attitude in terms of how you handle your present family. Finances, things of that nature, how to handle finances, how to go forth without necessarily getting a lot of debt. There are a lot of things I didn't know, I didn't get. And so I had to deal with those family issues of dealing with debt and irresponsibility, all those kind of things. And that's very, very important. And I want you to begin to grasp the importance of knowing how to talk about issues of the past and get those issues out. There may be matters of put downs, things that your family may have or other people have put you down, and maybe you have a habit of putting each other down. Those are issues of the past. Abuse issues. Maybe you've experienced some abuse and you need to resolve those issues of abuse before you perpetuate that in your family. So that's very, very important. And so if there's issues that have not been resolved, then it's going to affect the way you love each other, the way you talk to each other, the way you share with each other. Very important. And so you want to be able to resolve those issues and talk about those issues and get prayer for those issues and get healing for those issues. You may have to even go into counseling because of those issues that are not resolved from the past. And there may have been rejection from people in your prior relationships. And so maybe those attitudes may perpetuate in your present relationships. All right. Now, the last thing is, all right, that they never told me about marriage is it takes chemistry and agreement. It takes chemistry and agreement. And that means that you may have to develop more of a blend of your relational styles. Your personalities need to blend. The time you spend together may need to blend. One person may be a night person. The other person may be a morning person. And your schedules are all off. No, you need to synchronize your schedules so you're going to have more time, so you can have more time to share, to love, to care. You may have to develop some familiarity in the things you like to do. You can't go in separate directions and just do what you enjoy. Sometimes you're going to have to incorporate what the other person likes to enjoy with your schedule so you can do more things together. Whether it's going, on walks, whether it's going to the beach, whether it's going to the movies, taking trips together. One person may like going fishing. The other person may like to shop a lot or go to theater productions. But you're going to have to synchronize your schedules and be willing to make some adjustments. Be willing to make some sacrifices. Be willing to do some things that you've never done before, because what it may do, it may allow you then to develop some other tastes, some things that you've never done before or tasted before or gone to certain restaurants. You want to be able to blend your schedules so that at least you can do at least 3 things together in the course of that week, and maybe add more. See, we like this thing together. We like to go play tennis. The other person may say, well, we like to read the same books. And so you may want to make sure that you begin to adjust your time, adjust your schedules, adjust your taste so that you can do more things together. Does anybody have any questions on any part that we covered? Any questions? I want to make sure we get those in. Let me repeat 5 things that they never told me about marriage. 1, it takes time and prayer. Secondly, you need to listen. Listen to God and listen to each other. 3rd, teach your partner how to love you. They never told me about teaching my wife how to love me. 4, resolve issues from the past. Resolve the issues from the past. And 5thly, it takes chemistry and agreement. Agreement. You've got to, how can 2 walk together except they be agreed? So you have to make some agreement. That means marriage is sometimes a negotiated arrangement. Somebody's got to give something. Both of you got to give up something in order to get something. Be willing to give up something in order to get something. I hope this is helpful to you. And I want to make sure that if you have any questions, I can discuss any of those questions. Anybody have any questions whatsoever? All right. Nobody has any questions. All right. No. God bless you, Sister Angie. All right. And okay. Sister Colette, Sister Bigelow, Sister Melody. God bless you, Brother Luther. All right. Okay. I see a question here. How do you forgive the worst when it's repeated over? Word connection. And so I got a little time left, but I want you to understand you're going to have to address the situation first. And the other party has got to be willing to repent and to apologize. And it makes it easier forgiveness when the person is willing to do some things that they've never done before that resolves the issue in your mind as far as their willingness to make corrections. They're going to have to be willing to commit to some corrections, and it makes it easier for you to forgive and not for the person to continue to do the same thing over and over again. God gave you the capacity to forgive. Use that gift of forgiveness. It's a gift from God. And when the person is willing to alter their behavior and do some things differently, then guess what? It makes it easier for you to forgive, because that's a divine act of God. It's a divine act when you can forgive someone when they've done the absolute worst against you. And so I want you to go on my website, solutionswithdrbruce.com. We have a Couples in Love conference coming up very soon in the city of Pomona, coming at the end of February the 23rd, I believe. So you want to go on my website and sign up for that right away. And I look forward to having you as a part of what we're doing going forward. And so I'll try to be a little bit more professional the next time I come on to make sure that I address any other questions that you might have. Anybody else have any questions? Thank you all so much for your time. God bless you. Look forward to talking with you again very soon. Thanks so much for joining me on Facebook Live. God bless you. Bye-bye.